and welcome to another episode of FooBar. In today's episode, we are continuing with our application. We are adding artificial intelligence and continue working with AppSync to make our application better and nicer. If you want to know more about serverless, cloud computing, or software engineer practices in general, subscribe to my channel in the red button below. I post 2 videos every week. So let's get started! This is another episode in my series of building an application with Amplify and AppSync. We have created the application, we have added authentication, we have added storage, we have created an API, and we are storing things in there. Now I want to add a little bit of artificial intelligence, so I don't need to type a lot of information. So we have this image kind of gallery that we want to build, and whenever I upload an image, I want to store some description of the image, but I don't want to write it myself. For that, I'm going to use a service from Amplify that allows me to add labels to my image and will get the labels for me. And then I will be storing that in my API. Then I will create a new view for my application where I will see the image gallery, and we will also see all the different labels that this service added. For doing this, we are going to use an artificial intelligence service from AWS called Rekognition that links very well as well with Amplify, and then we are going to modify our AppSync endpoint to be able to store all these descriptions and to show them as well later on. So let's go to the slides and to the code. So in this video, we are going to add some artificial intelligence services into our application. The one we are going to use is Amazon Rekognition. I already have a video on Amazon Rekognition, and in this video I'm kind of building similar thing or using the service in a similar way, but this time from a Lambda using the AWS SDK. So you can go and check that video. Basically there I'm building an application that only allows you to upload cat pictures to application. Very simple. So Amazon Rekognition is a deep learning based image and video analysis service. Basically you will have an image or a video and you put it to the system and it will tell you all kind of information. It can look at the image and find different elements in the image. It can tell you there is a person, rocks, outdoor, a bike, whatever. It can also tell you where, if there's a face, where is the face and what it has on it. So it has many features. It can label things, and that's the feature we are going to use in our demo. It can tell us you if an image is unsafe or violent and things like that. It can also read text in an image, and that's pretty cool. So it can do some OCR, and that's very powerful. In a video, it can do some pacing. So if you have a person moving around, it can track it. It can do face search. You can add faces to some kind of database, and it can identify it around multiple images or in videos. It can do face analysis and detection. It can tell you where is a face or where are all the faces in the images, how they look, if they're smiling, if they're not, and all kind of information about the faces. It can recognize celebrities, so there is already a database for celebrities in place. And then also it can do real-time video analysis, and that make it very powerful. For our use cases, we are just using the basic labels. And when you do Amplify add predictions to your application, you will be prompted with something like this. I think this menu is a little bit daunting because there is a lot of options. You will find options like identify, convert, interpret, and infer. And finding the right thing you want to do can be confusing. And you can do multiple things. You don't have to stay with one. So if you add identify labels, then you can add convert text to another language. So you don't need to get stuck into one of those categories. So if you choose the category identify, you will be prompted with this text, identify text, basically to read the text, identify entities, to find faces in the image, And identify labels is to find labels and what is in the image. And all that is done using Rekognition, the service that I just showed you. So whatever you choose, it will be, Amplify will be calling Rekognition. Then you can add predictions for convert, and it will allow you to translate text into a different language, generate speech audio from text, and transcribe text from audio. And this category is using 3 different services depending on what you want to do. If you want to translate, it's using Amazon Translate. If you want to generate a speech from speech audio from text, it will do Poly. And if you want to transcribe text from audio, it will use Transcribe. And all these services, you will see they're using a very similar way from the Amplify libraries. Then if we have the interpret category, it's only one option that allows you to interpret text, and that will be using Amazon Comprehend, and it will let you do sentiment analysis on text. So you can do summaries, you can do analysis if the text is violent or it's abusive or safe or things like that. So you have a lot of options there, so that's pretty nice. And then in the Infer category, it will use SageMaker. I made a video about SageMaker last week, so you can go and check it out, what it is and how it works. But if you already have a model in SageMaker, you can basically call it. So this is extending the usage of Amplify in a totally different way. But for us, we are going to focus on the identify labels. And if you go to the documentation of Amplify, you can find all the different explanations for all the things that I mentioned in this slide. So you can check there. This is a build in progress, so it's quite cool. There is a lot of things that are coming here, and you can find all the documentations for all the different categories I mentioned in the side. The one we are going to use is the identify labels on an image. So you can follow this tutorial, or you can follow the video with me and I will show you how to do it. So we go back to our code where we left it. We want to build an image gallery, and we have uploaded some images. But I want now that whenever I upload an image, there is some kind of description of the image populated, so I don't need to type it. So for that is when I will be using Amazon Rekognition. So I will open my terminal, and I will add Amplify, add predictions. And there I will have this menu I showed you before. I will say identify, and then I will do identify labels. And then it will create a resource for me, and I will pick the default configuration, and I will say only authorized users have the chance to do this, because this will be only behind this login of the application. So then only authorized users can call this service. And that's it. Then I will do Amplify push to get this into the cloud. As always, Amplify is building in here in the Amplify folder. In the backend, we'll have the predictions now with infrastructure as code. So we can basically push this change now to the cloud. This takes a while, so I will wait for this to update in the cloud, and then we come back to do the front end for this application. So now it's finished, we come back to the code, and now I will close this so we have a full view, and we are going to source to components and to the upload image component that we wrote in the previous video. In here, what I want to do is when I'm uploading the image, before saving it to AppSync, before putting it in the database, I want to get the labels for the image that I'm uploading, and then I can store that image with the labels. So for that, I'm going to add the predictions to my application that we need to do from the app.js. In the app.js, I need to add this import that it's adding the predictions provider, and then I need to kind of add the provider to my Amplify application. And that's all the configuration I need in the app.js. Then I go back to my upload image. And here I need to import predictions. And now I can use it. First, I will create a new function that will call the predictions. So it's easy then to call that function when we need it. So I have put here a function called find image labels that will call the predictions library with the method identify, and it will tell that it wants all the labels according to this file. This file is not in S3 yet, it's just a file that I'm passing. This will respond with a labels array, and then for each of the labels I will check the metadata. Rekognition will always return some confidence on those labels, so it will say woman, it's 90%, I don't know, a teenager is 30%, so there is this confidence rate, and that's quite normal in artificial intelligence or machine learning services, that there is the confidence on the result, how secure the machine is secure about the result that is providing. So for whenever the label has a confidence of over 70%, I will add this label to my kind of image. So that's kind of it. And then in here, when we put the image in S3, then I want to get the labels for this image. So I need to modify a little bit this code. So now my code changed a little bit. I added this that is calling that find labels in the file, and it's returning the labels. And then after that is creating the image object and store it in AppSync. So the next thing we need to do is to create here maybe labels and put the labels here. And now we have in our image object the labels. But our schema has not changed, so maybe we need to open our schema and add the labels into it. The labels will be a string, array of strings, so that's the thing we need to do. If we modify the schema in AppSync, we need to push the changes to the cloud. Whenever we modify the schema, we need to do amplified push. So then this schema will get updated in our AppSync and in all the different resources that are consuming this AppSync. So we can see here that API has changed and has been updated. So we need to push those changes to the cloud. Also, when we update the API, it will ask if we want to regenerate the code, and we always say yes. We want to have this code that is doing all the operations for us in the client. So I will say yes, and then I will go through all the defaults as always. So now I will wait for this update to finish. So now our GraphQL is updated, everything is updated, our resolvers, our schema. So now I want to have in my homepage a title that says image gallery, and then I want to have a component called image gallery that, well, this we don't need yet, that basically is showing all the images. So I need to create this component image gallery, and I need to build this array of images in a way that the component can consume it. So let's build first the array of images in a simple way, because now when we get all the images from AppSync, it's very confusing, and I want to just clean that up a little bit. So the first thing I do is I create an image array to keep in our state. That's where all the images will be stored after we clean them up when we call the AppSync. Then I want to do a couple of functions. These functions are doing quite a lot of things. The first one is loading all the images from the GraphQL endpoint. So it's calling AppSync and is listing all the images. And then I'm building an image array with the things that I want and I need in my image gallery. I don't want everything, I just want the little things. And then also for each of the images, I'm going to storage and I'm getting that image. So it's pretty straightforward. I need to import all the things that I'm calling and then go and build this image gallery. So I have the image gallery already here, and it's very simple. What it does, it only has HTML basically. It's a view, and I have an array of images that is coming, and then I basically putting the image in the view and the labels. And that's kind of what we will see. So with all this, now we can go back to our application. And so let's go to our upload image. Let's upload something. Let's put the same thumbnail again. We will see now that it will upload the image, and we can see it when it's done in our S3 bucket. This is the S3 bucket. We can see the image that is here. We can also see the item in our Dynamo table. We can see the labels here stored and all the information. Then if I go to home, now I can see my image with the tags here. And if I upload another image, see, I put another of my video thumbnails. And when it finishes, we can also see it in S3, in Dynamo, and everywhere. And then if I go to my home, I can see now these two images uploaded with the different kind of tags. So that's basically what we have done in this video. This was the episode for today. I hope you like it. If you did, give a big thumbs up. Thumbs ups really help me in order for YouTube to know that you like this video. And you know, it's an algorithm. It needs information. In the next episodes, we are going to keep on building this application and doing more things with AppSync and other services from AWS to build this application. And I see you in the next episode of FooBar. Ciao, ciao!